that
Now we have question
the reaction
3A,
is
which is a
taking
one
place.
marker.
How do we
It's
know
a
that
state
it's taking
question, so
place?
let's just read it.
So if we think
State
from
of
the
nutrients that a
context of a
fish
hand
needs to
warmer,
maintain
we
life.
know that
So
in
let's
the
just
hand
list
warmer,
down
the
the five
temperature
nutrients
warms our
first.
hands.
First we have
And how does that happen? It only
proteins,
happens when the reaction takes place.
carbohydrates,
So this question is actually
fats,
not asking. We know
vitamins,
that
and
the
minerals.
change of
And
warmer
any
is
two
an
from these
indicator
will go
that
to
the
the
reaction
right
is
term
taking
of the
place.
surroundings.
So that is
So
going
let's
to be
and another word for fats is lipids, so you can write that as
Let's
well.
just write that.
But anything apart from these,
That's
right?
our point.
You
You
can
can
do
add
on
other
your
points for
marks.
this as well,
So
such
let's
as
just write two.
the
Change
change
in
in
I'm gonna
carbo
go with proteins
and any other point that you would want to write.
proteins, carbohydrates, my bad. Done. That's the answer. Proteins, carbohydrates. This one you can write any other combination. You can just write. You can write fats or vitamins if you want. You can write minerals and carbohydrates. Anything that you want. Now let's look at question 3B. Let's look at the formula first. We have the feed efficiency formula, which is the mass gained by the fish by the mass of food provided into 100%. This is the formula that is given for us, and then we have a catch over here. Feed efficiency greater than 50% is considered acceptable, so you have to just keep this in mind. One student measured the mass gained by the fish and calculate the feed efficiency of 5 different species of fish in a certain amount of time. My bad. 50 grams of food were provided for each species of fish over the course of the study. The results are shown in the table below. Let's look at the table over here. Fish species, the mass gained in grams, and the feed efficiency. So now let's look at the question. Calculate the missing value in the table above. So to calculate the feed efficiency, let's just use our formula. The formula is mass gained by the fish by the mass of food provided into 100%. So let's just look at the mass of food provided over here, which is 50 grams. We know that this is fixed. 50 grams of food was provided for each of the species of the fish over the course of the study. So we have the mass of the food as 50. Now let's look at the mass gained by the fish. The mass gained by fish B is 18 grams. So it's going to be 18 by 50 into 100%. So let me just plug this into a calculator and let me just look at the answer. So 18 by 50 is 0.36, and 0.36 into 100 is 36. So the feed efficiency over here is going to be 36. It's going to be 36%. That's it. That's our answer over here. It's just a matter of using the formula. Now let's look at question 3C. Identify the fish species whose growth is not considered as acceptable. So to understand this, we have to just move to this part where we see that feed efficiency greater than 50% is considered acceptable. So based on this, let's based on this constraint, just look at the table over here. Let's just look at everything that is over 50 and everything that's under 50. So we see that we know that this is 36. So we just know that all of these are under 50. So so fish species A, B, C, the growth of this is not considered acceptable because it's not over 50%. The feed efficiency is not over 50%. Plus D and E, they're over 50%, so they're good too. So let's just look at this one, and then we have to just tick these. Let's just tick these. So it's A, it's B, and it's C. Now we have question 3D, which asks us to plot a graph of the feed efficiency data in the table in part B. This is the graphing software that we have, and don't worry guys, this is gonna be really easy when you do it in the software because you can just type everything over here and you can just basically plot your graph. This is going to be a bar graph for us because it's gonna rise up for each species. It's gonna be a bar graph. So let's just look at the table over here. This one is 36% as we've solved it before. So mass gain in grams, the feed efficiency. So let's just look at what we're gonna plot over here. We're gonna plot the graph of feed efficiency. So let's just keep our values 24, 36, 28, 60 and 70. This is our bar graph which we're gonna plot. And don't worry, I'm just reminding you, this is gonna be way more easier and it's gonna save you a lot of time when you do it in the software. This is our answer for this question. That's it. Alright, now we're in question 3E, which is for 3 marks. So let's make sure that we're going to write in 3 points. Now let's just read the question for our understanding and let's just break it down. The hypothesis for the student's experiment was, if the same mass of food is provided to two different species of fish, then the feed efficiency would be similar for all species because fish have similar nutritional needs. Using the data from the graph, comment on the validity of the hypothesis provided by the students and justify your answer. I've actually deleted the graph that I made because I needed to write the answer for this. But if you check out the previous video, you'll know how the graph is and what we plotted. So based on our graph, we see that whatever is saying it's completely invalid because their hypothesis says that if the same mass of fish food is provided to different species of fish, they assume that all fish have similar nutritional needs and then the feed efficiency would be similar for all of them. But based on our findings, we understand that whatever they're saying, it's not correct. Their hypothesis is invalid. So we have to just use evidence from our graph and then we have to just justify our answer. We just write why we believe this and what evidence we have to back it up. So I have the graph on another tab. So let me just look at it and let's just answer this question based on that. So first things first, let's just write our first point, which is going to be about the validity of the graph. Wait, let me just take this over here because in the paper you have to just select it, so it's going to be invalid. So let me just do that real quick. Now let's just get back to the pointers. So first thing is, while all the fish were given the same mass of fish food, they exhibited different feed efficiencies. So that is going to be our first point. While all the fish were given the same mass of fish food, let me just expand this so we'll have more space. They still exhibited different feed efficiencies. That's going to be our first point. Next, the second point is going to be, this is because different species of fish have different nutritional needs that are solely based. We don't need to write all of that. We can just end it at nutritional needs. Yep, they have different nutritional needs. Next, third point, guys, remember to stay concise because you'll save a lot of time and you'll also provide more clarity to who is reading your answer. So if you won't blabber a lot on the paper, it will save you a lot of time, and also it helps you answer the question better because, like, let's say that I write a lot for this answer. It's just for 3 marks, but you don't need to do all of that. Just write 3 points for it and boom, you'll get the marks for it, and you'll save a lot of time, and while you can answer the criterion B and C questions. So you just use your time wisely in the papers and just write it in pointers for your sciences paper. I wouldn't recommend this for English, but yeah, for sciences, write in pointers. It saves you a lot of time and it also helps you be more clear. It prevents overwriting as well. Next, let me just look at the graph and let's identify some data that we can use. Uh, let's just take data for fish A and fish E. So for fish A, we know that uh, the feed efficiency is around 24. Yeah, it's around 24. So we can just take that. For instance, for fish A, the feed efficiency is 24%, whereas for fish E, the feed efficiency is 70%. This demonstrates a drastic rise in feed efficiency. Not a drastic rise, I would say it's a drastic difference in feed efficiency of both fishes, because while they were given the same amount of fish food, there is a stark difference that can be seen in their feed efficiencies. Oh, I forgot the spelling. Okay, we got it right. So that is it for our answer for this one. So we just write about how the hypothesis is invalid. So we just justify our answer. We support our claims using evidence, and boom, that's easy 3 marks for us. And then that's it for this question.